A special shout out to the big patrons of the month, including the Nerd Therapist and Dan the MiniGolf Wizard. Thanks, heroes. Whatever you want. Hey, Pokemon Masters, Birdkeeper Toby here, and boy oh boy, I have been watching this trailer over and over again. I do hope I'm not the only one just absolutely insanely excited and thinking these are going to be the best games ever. Currently my computer screen is frozen on an image of the Pokemon Wilds with Beware and Wobbuffet, and just I want to explore that. I want to see all the new Pokemon that there are going to be in Sword and Shield. I am so excited. And one of the things, obviously, I'm always excited for are new Pokemon and new Pokemon designs. Right? I mean, look at some of the ones we've had this generation. Zacian. I'm saying it right now. Zacian. Zacian and Zazamenta. I mean, these designs, okay, a bit over the top, but I do like them. The Pokemon of the Galar region. And that's right, I'm going to start saying Galar more, not Galar. Galar region. I gotta say, I am excited. One of my favorite ones at the moment is Dreadnought. I do think this is adorable, and this design is not the official Ken Sugimori design. This art has been done by Soy Alex Allen. The reason I'm using this art today is because, well, that artist is particularly talented. And with their kind permission, and for a shout out, and you can check out their Instagram and DeviantArt, of course, linked below, I'm going to be showing you a number of designs of beta and unreleased Pokemon that have been discovered over the last few years through the Gold and Silver Space World project, through the Helix Chamber project, that have showed us the inner workings of early versions of the game, as well as some other Pokemon that have appeared in the lore of Pokemon and never been properly explored. And the designs get reused all the time. Just take a look at Dreadnought. Dreadnought, as well as the previous Pokemon Tirtuga, definitely seem to take some inspiration from an unreleased Gold and Silver Pokemon. Also, recently discovered in the Gold and Silver betas, we had there was a Pokemon that was basically an early version of Mime Jr. There was a Pokemon that was an early variant of Tangrowth. There was a Pokemon evolutionary set that later down the line turned into Popplio, Brione, and Primarina. So it's not like this isn't something they never do. They never go back and look at old designs. Of course they do. They keep these things in the bank. And currently there are about 50 designs. I did have to stretch a little bit to get to the 50, but there are at least 50 designs. I'd be shocked if we didn't at least see some of these brought to life in newer Pokemon. So here we go. I'm going to go through and I'm using, a lot of Soy Alex Allen's artwork. Thank you so much for your permission. Really incredibly talented artist. Let's just get into it. So I'm going to start really by just like knocking 9 off the bat right away. I got them listed here. 9 straight off the bat. Baby Pokemon. We're looking at baby Goldeen, Growlithe, Grimer, Ponyta, Meowth, and Tangela, Paris, Doduo, and Vulpix. Yeah, there are like 9 other baby Pokemon that didn't end up making the cut in Pokemon Gold and Silver or the Sinnoh games. And I think baby Pokemon can be described as being quite pointless, but I disagree. I think they fill out the lore and flesh out and show a little bit of love to older Pokemon. Of these, I'm gonna say I actually think baby Paris is my favorite. It's a really weird thing for me to say. Paris and Parasect are not my favorite Pokemon at all, but the idea of like a Paris hatching out of like the mushroom, you can see how it would add something to the lore here. There's this whole creepy lore behind Paris and Parasect that the mushrooms take over it, but what if the mushrooms also give birth to it? A never-ending symbiotic way of living. I think there's a lot of opportunities here with baby Pokemon, and at least some of these I'd like to see. I think the Meowth baby is adorable. I think the Paris baby in particular is my favorite here, but what's yours? So the next one is an evolutionary line that begins with what looks like a fire bear, ends up with a kind of Arcanine kind of looking Pokemon. This would seem to have been, by everything the files indicate, the original fire starter line for Johto. I personally prefer the Cyndaquil line, and I wouldn't necessarily want to see this whole 3-stage. The final evolution just looks too much like Arcanine to me, but the baby, the fire bear, that is a Pokemon I want to see. There was actually a fake bit of artwork that was getting circulated around the time of Sun and Moon's release that showed a fire bear Pokemon that was kind of really, really popular. Bringing the idea of a fire bear to life, I think, was just... It's waiting to happen. Not an if, but a when. Okay, so the next one is 3 Pokemon. 2 of them are related. I think one of them are not. There is this kind of shark with an anchor for a tail and a pre-evolution for it, as well as there actually being a hammerhead shark that was originally not from the Gold and Silver beta, but actually from the Red and Green beta. The only shark Pokemon we've had so far is Sharpedo, right? I think? Yeah, Sharpedo. And Garchomp, if you count it, it's the land shark Pokemon. I do think the anchor shark is an interesting design. I don't know if it's my favorite of the sharks here, but I think the pre-evolution's cute. But Anchor Shark, of course, water steel type, or you could go with a Hammerhead Shark and make its Hammerhead steel type. Okay, the next one, how can I not bring up Gorochu? I mean, Pikachu gets like a new gimmick every single generation. We've had Notch Deer Pichus and Cosplay Pikachus and Alolan Raichus. Gorochu has been talked about more and more lately, and with this artwork is actually by Umbreon Libris, their front sprite for it. The back sprite was found in the demo files of Red and Green. It was also previously talked about in interviews. What about a split evolution to Pikachu that can only be found, a regional evolution that can only be found in the Galar region? Gorochu, I don't know, food for thought, but I think it would be really cool and wouldn't take away from Raichu or Alolan Raichu or anything like that. Gorochu, Raichu's sort of like big brother. If we're also doing regional evolutions, then let's take a look at Ditto, because while I like Ditto's gimmick, its mechanic for transforming in general, it'd be interesting to see if there was more to this evolutionary line than just its ability to transform and create Pokemon eggs of any Pokemon, pretty much. And it being a part Steel type, maybe evolving via the Metal Coat, we've kind of seen this adapted already in Meltan. Meltan being a Steel Pokemon with very Ditto-like elements and a little bit of lore that maybe ties to Ditto. But this evolution is so wacky, I would love to see it implemented into the lore somehow. So there's only so much that they can do with ghost Pokemon, right? Surely, once you've got a haunted creature, then it's like, okay, cool, well, why don't we possess a tree or a pumpkin or anything if you're Rotom? Well, actually, weirdly, the idea of a two-headed, like two spirits bound together to create a twin dark spirit thing is actually a simple and yet, I think, very beautiful idea. Personally, I think this is a new ghost type that could just be very, very interesting. Just two spirits that maybe didn't like each other, got twisted and formed together, or maybe two spirits that liked each other so much that they couldn't bear to be parted even in the afterlife. That's what this Pokemon is. I think there's some fun lore and world building there. Next up, Shelder's Shell. Again, I'm talking like a regional evolution. Shelder can become its full shell form when it evolves into like a variant of Cloyster or a new split evolution. It can only evolve into the Galar region. Other than that, the only way that Shelder is hitting this form finally is, of course, when it bites onto a Slowpoke's tail or a Slowpoke's head. But I would personally love to see this as its own Pokemon. It was originally planned to happen in Gold, Silver, Crystal, and for whatever reason, it didn't. I just think it would be, it's about time to bring this into the real world. I actually think this one's got a really good chance of happening. Like, I don't know, you evolve it or you got a Slowpoke in your party or something, and as a result of that, in the Galar region, for whatever reason, it just doesn't bite down, it doesn't let go, and it becomes its own Pokemon. Please, I want to see this. There is another evolution. I'm actually less fond of this, so I'm going to go really quickly. A split Weenit Bell evolution. Yeah. I don't actually want this. It's just, again, we got to get this list up to 50. And, boy, maybe one of you likes it. Hold up, though, because this one is good. A Fire Seal, or a Sea Lion. It's kind of very similar to how Popplio juggles its bubbles. I could see it almost as a variant to Popplio, potentially. But this is a really good and effective way to have a fire-water type that doesn't revolve around the idea of steam, because steam, I think, is the go-to obvious answer. It's a sea lion. Maybe it lives in deep oceans because it can't live in Arctic areas because it just melts the ice. And it keeps warm in cold waters by having this kind of eternal flame that is burning inside it, and it lights rocks on fire. I think that's a cool idea, and there is a cool dual typing there, at least. I'd love to see this one. The next two I'm going to do very quickly again. A very basic elephant and a very basic kind of walrus, tusked walrus. We do have both of these creatures in Donphan and Walrein, which are already incredibly effective at what they do. Walrein is a fantastic walrus. Donphan, it's a cool elephant. I would like to see an elephant Pokemon that's a bit bigger, though. A bit more like Mamoswine. But Mamoswine actually isn't a mammoth. It's a mammoth-sized pig, a Mamoswine. So, yeah, I'd like to see an elephant, and I do kind of like the idea of this one that's standing up on two legs. Just looking at it here, yeah, I kind of like the idea of an elephant that stands on two legs, uses its tusk maybe to fight. That's very Pokemon. And I do like the design of the walrus that's kind of, it's a small baby walrus, kind of like cute like Spheal, but it still has the tusks. I think that's nice. Okay, for this one, I'm going to have to use the artwork from Helix Chamber, is the Poison Kraken. I don't think this was turned into anything. Like, maybe it was turned into Tentacruel, but I see this as being its own Pokemon. Because Tentacruel ultimately is a jellyfish, and this is more like a squid. And do we have a squid Pokemon? Do we have an Inklingmon? Oh, yeah, we have Malamar, but it's not even a water type. Personally, cool design idea. I think it's there. Okay, next to take just a little bit of a break, I'm gonna look at a Pokemon called Marin. This is technically a Pokemon. Like, it's a Pokemon that, there was a comic book, there was a manga competition. Someone had to draw their own Pokemon and submit it. Somebody won, and their Pokemon Marin, which is clearly a water type, it's an official Pokemon that appeared in this comic book as a competition winner and then never appeared again in Pokemon lore. I'd love to see it fully integrated into the world. I just think it would be a really nice way to pay respect to the fan base who created it. It's almost like the original fan-made Pokemon, you know, that was officially recognized. Far-fetched Evolution, which is actually looking likely according to, well, there's some leaks that are going around. We don't know how 100% the leaks are. A lot of people are saying the leaks are definite, that they're 100%. I remain a tad skeptical, because even though the other things that the leaker have mentioned being true, sometimes leakers... Oh! Leaks! Because Farfetch has a leak. Yeah, that's funny. Well, there was one time there was a leak for Rainbow Rocket, and it suggested an Alolan Oddish was going to happen, and that never happened. So even though they got part of the leak right, they didn't get with the other one. So you know, maybe, but an evolution to Farfetch could happen, and if so, I could see them going back to the drawing board and using a design just like this. Electric Kitty! Okay, why do we not have this? I mean, we kind of have Electabuzz, and I know we have other electric cats. We have, I guess, Raikou is a big electric cat, or we have Luxray, of course. Maybe we don't need it. I just think it's because this one is kind of fat. It's adorable. The Pokemon doll that's in the anime that kind of looks like, it looks very similar to Baltoy, almost. It's got that same kind of vibe and inspiration about it. I would love to see another kind of Baltoy, maybe something hidden within the runes and ruins of the Galar region. The Galar region. Something like this, Psychic Rock, but bring it to life. Also, another one from the comic books, Red's Bug. This is a Pokemon, apparently. It actually appears in a Pokemon manga, an official bit of material. Yeah. Weird one, that. Moving on. A couple of weird ones from the red and green beta. We've got a deer Pokemon, a Pokemon called Crocky, and a cactus. Obviously, we have had cacti Pokemon in Cacturne and Maractus. We have had deer Pokemon in Stantler and Sawsbuck. Heck, we've had crocodile Pokemon in Krokorok and Feraligatr. However, these are more base designs that, in particular the deer, I feel like they could do something wild with the deer. The cactus and Crocky I'm less fond on, but the deer, they could do something with that. I don't know, it's just, Stantler already has its eye thing, and Sawsbuck has the seasons thing. Maybe this would have a totally different gimmick. I forgot that Stantler can make illusions. It's like really powerful. It can make psychic illusions, even though it's not psychic type. That's just a weird bit of anime trivia for Stantler. Okay, another set of Betamons. I want to see this one, the 2 Yeti Pokemon. This is probably one of my favorite designs in the whole of the thing. The whole of the beta designs. If they can bring back one, I think this. They kind of did it a little bit with Snorunt. I can see some inspiration and influence there. But Snorunt kind of went a different way with Glalie and Frostlass. I think something like this could really fit into those mountainous, icy areas of Galar. Okay, a couple of kind of like revisions to older Pokemon. Can we please get the complete version of Kyurem, Reshiram, and Zekrom, the original dragon, fused together? It's probably not going to happen this generation, super unlikely, probably going to wait till the Gen 5 remakes, whenever that is. Wow, are we at the point where we start mentioning Gen 5 remakes even passively in videos? Welcome to the future. As well as that, we'll probably one day get to see the Pokemon that Genesect came from, the original Genesect. Ooh, I'm noticing a theme for Gen 5 here. Hold on, there might, I wonder how that's going. Those are future videos. Far future videos. I know there's a lot of theories about it being a Kabutops or a Scyther or even a Parasect. I think Genesect has its own story to tell, but we'll see. New forms of unknowns matching those that are seen in the Pokemon 3rd movie. Please, we're getting really close to those Gen 4 remakes. The unknowns are a big part of the Gen 4 story and the way that they interact with Arceus, and even though they weren't brought up heavily in Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, I think there's a story there that needs to be told in the remakes. So introduce some new forms now. They did it with Fire Red and Leaf Green, like, why not? The winged cat statue that appears it appears in Pokemon Origins. I think it also appears kind of in Let's Go. No, I think it's just in Origins. The statue at the entrance to Brock's gym. Let's see it turn into a real Pokemon, because why have a weird demonic cat thing if you're not just gonna have a Pokemon? I felt that as well, actually. There's the episode, I think it's about Gligaman, has an unnamed arachnid creature appear on TV. Like, why wouldn't that just be Ariados? Were they planning on making this a Pokemon? Make it happen, Game Freak, please. I just like consistency with lore, and it's like, okay, why would they invent this thing that isn't a Pokemon when you have Pokemon that are giant spiders? Okay, just a few more to go. One of the other beta Pokemon are a voodoo doll bear and bear panda thing. The closest we saw this happen is like the creation of Banette rather. But actually I think a voodoo Pokemon, that's interesting. Definitely knows that move that has the animation, the curse one or the spite one, where the needle goes in and then it starts damaging you each turn. Just like Genesect and the original dragon, the original legendary beasts. Let's kind of now move on from the theory about Flareon, Vaporeon, and Jolteon. It's fun and I will reference it in the future, but at the same time, it would be cool to have some actual confirmation as to what those creatures were before they were revived. The legendary finned Pokemon that Misty saw in her dreams. Or not in her dreams, there's a sort of flash forward that Misty has in the anime, and she's chasing after this big water finned Pokemon. It kind of looks like Mega Gyarados, could be a nod to it, all the way back in Gen 2, probably not, but it'd be nice to see if there actually is a legendary black-finned Pokemon that's just huge, bigger than Gyarados. Dark Mist and Bitter Cold. These are from the Mystery Dungeon games, and yeah, okay, they're not really Pokemon, but they are said to be living organisms, and I would love to see if there's like a Pokemon that could then manifest into these forms. Kind of just to tie the lore of the Mystery Dungeon world together, it would provide so much room for Pokemon theories. There is an unnamed bear in the anime. It's like a doll that Brock holds. It could be the Fire Bear even. They could even tie that together. But yeah, some kind of ancient bear Pokemon. Always up for more bear Pokemon. Bear Pokemon is like where Teen Snooze started with Sleepy Bears, Teddiursa, Snorlax. And then Kamala happened. Good times. More bears, please. And finally, I've already done a whole theory video on why this one would be the case, but number 50, the unnamed silhouette of a cool, powerful dragon Pokemon, possibly a bearded dragon, that appears in the anime in one of James's thought bubbles recently. Because it's so recent, I think there's actually a possibility this could be a next-gen Pokemon, and I've done a whole video on that topic. For now, though, that's just speculation. This isn't all of the beta designs, but it's pretty close to all of the beta and unused and undecided Pokemon. Pretty close to all of them. Anything of like an interest that I thought would actually interest you. Is there any of these that you would like to see turned into a actual Pokemon in the Galar region, or is there anything you think I've missed? Let me know in the comments below, and of course, soar high Pokemon Masters.
This is Ash Ketchum. You just watched a video by Birdkeeper Toby. That makes you a Pokemon Master.